degrees. Look out for dense fog in the morning, but it'll burn off, and afternoon's looking pretty good. 74.
That's our time.
Evening News is next.
Russia in mourning. Can these flight recorders solve the mystery of the air disaster that killed more than 200? Also tonight, a condemned killer tells the Supreme Court he's the victim of prosecutors who kept blacks off the jury. Obamacare, year 3. Some are saying no to signing up.
It's just hard to factor in the cost of an extra bill.
And grand larceny on a football field.
It's a legal play. Touchdown.
No, it wasn't.
This is the CBS Evening News with Scott Pelley.
We'll start tonight with breaking news. We have learned that a U.S. spy satellite detected a flash of heat over Egypt's Sinai Peninsula at the moment on Saturday that a Russian jetliner vanished from radar. David Martin at the Pentagon reports the infrared satellite recorded the flash, but it is not known whether the flash was caused by something like a failure in a fuel tank or perhaps a bomb. The Metrojet wreckage is spread over miles, indicating that it came apart at high altitude. All aboard, more than 200 people were killed. They were mostly vacationing Russian families en route from a seaside resort in Egypt to St. Petersburg. Today, U.S. Intelligence Director James Clapper said it's unlikely that terrorism brought down the Airbus A321. Investigators hope the flight recorders will tell them what did. Alan Pizzi is in Egypt.
Search teams have finished combing an 8-square-mile area of the Sinai Desert where the Airbus went down and will now widen the search. Most of the bodies have been found along with the plane's 2 flight data recorders. Decoding them to discover what caused the plane to suddenly break apart in midair is expected to begin tomorrow after the arrival of experts from Ireland, where the A321 was registered and had its last safety check. Airbus and other experts examined the twisted metal of the fuselage for clues today. A neat arrangement of luggage, waiting in the desert rather than on an airport carousel, was a poignant reminder of how much those clues matter. An ISIS affiliate based in the Sinai has claimed it brought down the plane, and while there's no evidence of any direct terrorist involvement, the possibility the Sinai militants were responsible can't be dismissed, according to U.S. Director of National Intelligence James Clapper.
It's unlikely, but I wouldn't rule it out.
Metrojet, the Russian company that owned the aircraft, denied the crash was caused by equipment failure and said the pilot did not send a distress call. The only possible explanation, Deputy Director Alexander Smirnov said, could be an external impact on the airplane. For relatives who must now provide DNA and other means of identification for bodies brought back to St. Petersburg, concern about who is responsible is buried under grief. At least 24 of the victims were children. Everyone involved in the investigation is urging patience and warning against jumping to conclusions. But the possibility of terrorist action has already prompted a number of airlines to avoid flying over the Sinai. Scott?
Alan Pizzi reporting for us from Cairo tonight. Alan, thank you. Now moving to the Republican presidential race, a new poll shows Donald Trump holding on to his lead in New Hampshire. But the fastest rising candidate there is Marco Rubio. He's now at 13%, a 9-point improvement since September. Trump is at 26%, followed by Ben Carson at 16%. Here's Major Garrett.
Thank you very much.
Marco Rubio's rise has come at Jeb Bush's expense. Once an understudy, Rubio is now running ahead of Bush and attracting his donors, leaving Bush to scramble for support today in the two candidates' home state of Florida.
No, I'm not frustrated about him. He's a great guy. He's a good friend. He's a gifted politician. I just have the leadership skills to solve these problems. We have a little disagreement on that.
But I'm going to tell you the truth. Here's the truth.
Rubio's surge began with his strong performance at last week's CNBC debate. The same poll that shows Rubio jumping to third place in New Hampshire also shows a spike in his favorable rating, up from 50% to 62%. He's now just 2 points behind Ben Carson, the Republican with the highest rating. Rubio's biggest catch among Republican donors, Paul Singer, a billionaire hedge fund manager who has thrown millions behind GOP candidates and causes. Today, Rubio picked up his first Senate endorsement from Colorado freshman Cory Gardner. All this drew the ire of Donald Trump, who tweeted, "Marco only won the debate in the minds of desperate people." It was reminiscent of what Trump told us after that debate.
No, I think we won the debate tonight according to everybody. I mean, everybody says that. That seems to be unanimous.
Not Marco? And today, Trump told talk radio host Colin Cowherd Rubio would not be among his vice presidential picks.
You called Rubio a lightweight. It would not be him, right?
Most likely not.
The Republican presidential campaigns tried to unite to negotiate format changes to future debates. But today, Trump, John Kasich, Chris Christie, and Carly Fiorina all said thanks, but no thanks. One possible reason why, Scott, among the written requests, each venue be air-conditioned to precisely 67 degrees.
Major Garrett reporting tonight. Major, thank you. The third year of open enrollment for health insurance under the Affordable Care Act began this week. Premiums are up, and some people have decided they're not so affordable. Here's Juliana Goldman.
It kind of just hits you.
Mylisa Patton turns 26 this month. She will lose coverage under her parents' health insurance, but doesn't want to pay up to $250 a month for a plan under Obamacare.
Being a graduate student and living in D.C. and kind of barely making ends meet now, it's just hard to factor in the cost of an extra bill.
There are 10.5 million uninsured Americans eligible for coverage under the Affordable Care Act. But the Obama administration expects only a quarter will sign up this year, even though those that don't could pay a higher penalty in their taxes.
We're talking about a penalty, though. It's $700.
No, I actually didn't know the penalty was that high.
Premiums have also increased. The cost of a mid-level plan is up an average of 7.5%. It's due in part because a number of companies have left the marketplace. Fewer insurers means less competition.
I've had Obamacare insurance now for 2 years, and it did go up the second year.
Dawn Aaron is an actress and singer living in Texas. She says Obamacare made her hepatitis C medication affordable.
The total cost of that medication was approximately $70,000, and my copay was $5.
As for Patton, the healthy millennial is inclined to take her chances without insurance.
I would probably look at enrolling after I graduate.
So waiting until after May?
Yes.
And still deal with the penalty?
Kind of a hard situation to be in right now.
Officials acknowledge that most people will need to shop around and pick new plans to avoid price hikes. Scott, the Obama administration expects 10 million people will be enrolled in insurance exchanges by the end of 2016, but that's way down from original estimates of 21 million.
Juliana Goldman in the Washington newsroom tonight. Juliana, thank you. In a major change of policy, Medicare will now pay for end-of-life counseling for terminally ill patients. And our Dr. John LaPook has more about this.
Amy Berman is a former nurse who now works at a health policy foundation. So 5 years ago, when diagnosed with a rare form of breast cancer, she knew to do her homework.
And what did you find?
It's the worst form of breast cancer to get. Nobody survives it.
When your doctors first discussed your treatment plan, did they ask you, what do you want?
One doctor was perfection. She said, we can try to hold back the cancer, but, not do things that are unnecessary. I went to another doctor, and this other doctor wanted to do the complete opposite kind of care, wanted to throw everything at the cancer, even though it wasn't going to change the outcome.
Berman chose only those treatments that ease pain.
I really wanted to focus on living the best possible quality of life.
Dr. Diane Meyer directs the Center to Advance Palliative Care, an emerging field of medicine that focuses on a patient's quality of life.
At the outset of a serious illness, it's very important to talk with patients and families about what they can expect. What is the natural history of this disease course? What is the time frame?
Now that Medicare will reimburse doctors for advanced care planning and end-of-life discussions, there should be more time for those discussions.
Without those conversations, somebody else is making all the decisions for us.
And for you, that was less aggressive care. For somebody else, it might be more aggressive care.
Right. It's whatever it is that that person is hoping to do for their own health.
The cancer has spread, but Berman is continuing to work and play, living the best life she possibly can.
Study suggests patients who receive the kind of specialized care that focuses on quality of life and pain management have fewer hospital and office visits and may even live longer.
Dr. John LaPook for us tonight. John, thank you. The Supreme Court heard arguments today in the case of a black man sentenced to death in Georgia for murdering a white woman. At issue is whether the prosecution illegally excluded blacks from the jury. Here's our chief legal correspondent, Jan Crawford.
Timothy Foster's jury was all white, but prosecutors denied racial bias when they struck every African American from the pool of prospective jurors. Then, 10 years ago, defense attorneys unearthed the prosecutor's notes.
What we really found was an arsenal of smoking guns.
Veteran death penalty attorney Stephen Bright is representing Foster.
The notes were shocking in terms of just how explicit the racial factor was.
The names of the potential African American jurors were highlighted. And in this list of possible jurors titled Definite No's, the top 5 people were black. In the Supreme Court Monday, Georgia's Deputy Attorney General argued prosecutors had valid reasons for excluding African American jurors in the 1987 trial, and had flagged the black prospective jurors to make sure they were following new Supreme Court guidelines handed down in a landmark 1986 case to prevent racial discrimination in jury selection. But a majority of the justices appeared skeptical. Liberal Justice Elena Kagan said the case seemed as clear a violation as the court is ever going to see of the court's 1986 guidelines. Conservative Justice Samuel Alito, a former U.S. attorney, also seemed troubled, asking, what about the giving a reason for dismissing one juror, that she was close in age to the defendant? She was in her 30s. He was 18 or 19.
Now today, some 30 years later, anti-death penalty groups say that racial discrimination in jury selection may be less obvious, but it still persists. But Scott, the court in this case is unlikely to address those bigger concerns.
Jan Crawford at the Supreme Court tonight. Jan, thank you. We have been searching at the broadcast for solutions to gun violence in our series, Voices Against Violence. Recently, we brought you the view of a gun rights advocate, Larry Pratt, of Gun Owners of America. Tonight, another perspective and another voice.
My name is Kai Klepfer. I'm an 18-year-old innovator from Boulder, Colorado, and I spent the last 3 years of my life developing a smart gun that only works for the owner. The smart gun works by identifying the user's fingerprint before the firearm is able to fire. This means that when a child finds an unsecured firearm in a house and picks it up and starts to play with it, it doesn't turn into a life-altering accident. It all started for me with the Aurora Theater shooting. Living in Boulder, Colorado, the theater in Aurora where that shooting occurred is only 45 minutes away from my house, and was something that deeply impacted not only me, but the Colorado community as a whole. The smart gun technology that I've developed is very secure. The fingerprints are stored on the firearm and encrypted using military-grade technology. The next main step for me is to take that technology and move it to an actual metal live firearm. Throughout the course of my research into accidental shootings and deaths in the United States, I learned that every 30 minutes in the United States, on average, a child dies or is injured by a firearm. A technology like this can legitimately save thousands of lives every single year in the United States, and I'm in a position to make that possible.
The view of Kai Klepfer. Still ahead on the broadcast, it was one of the craziest endings in football. How the refs blew it. How Fred Thompson helped bring down law and order on a president who broke the law. And what happened after the cabbie got clobbered, when the CBS Evening News continues.
To find your ideal room on Trivago, you can select from hundreds of options. Whatever you want, Trivago finds your ideal room and then compares over 200 websites to get you the best price. Hotel? Trivago.
If you have high blood pressure like I do, many cold medicines may raise your blood pressure. That's why there's Coricidin HBP. It relieves cold symptoms without raising blood pressure. So look for powerful cold medicine with the heart. Coricidin HBP.
It takes a lot of work to run this business, but I really love it. I'm on the move all day long. And sometimes, I just don't eat the way I should. So I drink Boost to get the nutrition that I'm missing.
Boost Complete Nutritional Drink has 26 essential vitamins and minerals, including calcium and vitamin D to support strong bones, and 10 grams of protein to help maintain muscle, all with a great taste.
I don't plan on slowing down anytime soon.
Stay strong, stay active with Boost.
Salonpas salutes you. People working hard to improve the world. You inspired us to improve these. Salonpas pain relieving patches. 20% larger with better adhesion and more medicine to fight pain than ever before. Salonpas, the patch you love, improved.
Many people clean their dentures with toothpaste or plain water. And even though their dentures look clean, in reality, they're not. If a denture were to be put under a microscope, we can see all the bacteria that still exist on the denture. And that bacteria multiplies very rapidly. That's why dentists recommend cleaning with Polident every day. Polident's unique microclean formula works in just 3 minutes, killing 99.99% of odor-causing bacteria. For a cleaner, fresher, brighter denture every day.
Would you like to win $10,000 a week for life?
Oh my God.
Now you can with the new Double the Cash prize from Publishers Clearinghouse. Go to PCH.com and enter now. December 30th, you could win $10,000 a week for life.
Video replays were supposed to end bad calls by referees. Mark Strassman reports that did not happen when Duke played Miami on Saturday night. Let's go to the video.
You're watching a robbery in progress.
Lateral.
Miami had received the last-minute kickoff trailing Duke by 3 points. Time expired as Hurricane players lateraled the ball 8 times. 8 for the winning score. A final play for the ages.
Can you believe what you just saw?
But the refs blew it.
The play is still under review.
They huddled with a replay official for 9 minutes.
It's a legal play, touchdown, game is over.
Miami's miracle was a mirage. Hurricane player Mark Walton lateraled the ball with his knee touching the ground, just a few feet away from an official. Duke coach David Cutcliffe.
I thought the guy was down, and I think pictures will prove me right.
Look closer. Knee down, play over, game over. The Atlantic Coast Conference, or ACC, agreed. The last play of the game was not handled appropriately. It also ruled the now suspended officials had missed 4 calls on that play alone. So Duke wins, right? Wrong. Dan Wolken covers sports for USA Today.
There is currently no mechanism in the NCAA rulebook to overturn the result of a game in this circumstance. Once everyone leaves the field and the officials declare the game over, it's over.
Which is why Duke fans will always see this stadium as the scene of the crime. Mark Strassman, CBS News, Atlanta.
The VW emissions scandal expands to a legendary brand. That's next.
Fact. For over 30 years, in study after study, Advil is unsurpassed in pain relief. Nothing is proven stronger on aches and pains than Advil. Not Tylenol, not Aleve, nothing. Relief doesn't get any better than this. Advil.
You gelling? No telling how much I'm gelling. You gelling?
I'm like mud gelling, I'm so gelling.
Quit yelling, we're gelling.
Right.
Dr. Scholl's massaging gel insoles are so soft, they make any shoe feel outrageously comfortable. Are you gelling? Dr. Scholl's.
This guy from engineering says DirecTV is so advanced that you could put TVs anywhere without looking at cable wires and boxes in every room.
How are they always one step ahead of us?
Well, because their technology is far superior.
Or because they have someone on the inside. Isn't that right, Gil? Sir, I would never.
He's with us.
He's wearing a wire.
Take off his shirt. Take off his shirt. All right. I'm putting you in charge of the holiday party.
Get rid of cable and upgrade to DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
For the millions of Americans suffering from ringing in their ears, there's no such thing as quiet time. But you can quiet the ringing with lipoflavonoid, the #1 doctor-recommended brand. Relieve the ringing with lipoflavonoid.
The cold truth is, if a cold keeps you up at night, you can't just catch up on sleep the next day. New Alka-Seltzer Plus Night Cold and Cough Liquid relieves tough cold symptoms and quiets coughs for up to 8 hours to help you sleep at night. New Alka-Seltzer Plus Night Liquid.
I've always been protective of my little sister.
Little, hardly.
But when she got cancer, she was the strong one.
I just did my homework.
She learned while she needed chemo.
It could weaken my immune system.
But then you found out about Neulasta.
Right.
Neulasta helps reduce infection risk by boosting your white blood cell count, which strengthens your immune system. In a key study, Neulasta reduced the risk of infection from 17% to 1%, a 94% decrease. Neulasta is for certain cancer patients receiving strong chemotherapy. Do not take Neulasta if you're allergic to Neulasta or Neupogen. Ruptured spleen, sometimes fatal, as well as serious lung problems and allergic reactions have occurred. Report abdominal or shoulder tip pain, trouble breathing, or allergic reactions to your doctor right away. In patients with sickle cell disorders, serious, sometimes fatal crises can occur. The most common side effect is bone and muscle ache.
Ellie's strong, but she still needs help.
Yeah, I do.
Ask your doctor about Neulasta.
Did Metro schools cheat to improve test scores?
It's rigging the game.
It's rigging the game, exactly.
News Channel 5 investigates tonight at 6.
An elderly woman is missing.
Mornings move fast.
If you know something or see her throughout the morning,
feed your need to know with News Channel 5 this morning.
He was a well-known Tennessee lawmaker.
Updating all morning long.
Fog, scattered showers, key things for your ride into work.
News Channel 5 this morning. Watch on any screen starting tomorrow at 4 a.m.
Today, the EPA said it has discovered cheating software on more Volkswagen diesel models. These include the 2014 VW Touareg, the 2015 Porsche Cayenne, and 2016 Audi Quattro. The fraudulent software reduces emissions when the cars are tested, but allows emissions to grow to 9 times the legal limit when no one is looking. There's a full list of the models at cbsnews.com. An assault on an Uber driver in Orange County, California was captured on video, and Maria Villarreal is following this.
Let me tell you something, you lost.
This is what happened during Uber driver Edward Caban's last ride on Friday night. He had just asked this apparently drunk passenger to get out of his car.
It was terrifying. Just got blows to the side of my head, and I'm, fumbling with the pepper spray.
Yeah? Yeah, I'm giving you
Passenger Benjamin Golden, a marketing executive for Taco Bell, was arrested by Costa Mesa police and charged with assault and disorderly conduct. Taco Bell fired him tonight, saying it offered and encouraged him to seek professional help. Caban picked the 32-year-old passenger up from a bar. From the beginning, he says the man was belligerent and refused to give him a drop-off address.
I don't feel like he would have stopped if I didn't spray him. The way that he was coming at me, I was afraid he was going to start strangling me.
Get out of my car.
Sir,
get out of my car or I will call the police.
It appears Golden is about to leave, but then this.
Let me tell you something, you lost.
When riders sign up for Uber, they agree to a code of conduct. Uber also has a rating system for riders designed to keep drivers safe.
I definitely don't plan on driving for Uber anymore. I'm looking for a job right now.
Uber would not tell us how many other drivers have faced similar incidents. They would also not share anything on their safety procedures. But Scott, we did find out Benjamin Golden has been banned for life.
Maria Villarreal in Los Angeles. Maria, thank you. Remembering Fred Thompson, next.
This portion of the CBS Evening News is sponsored by Pacific Life. For life insurance, annuities, and investments, choose Pacific Life, the power to help you succeed.
I'm always there for my daughter. For the little things and the big milestones. And just like I'm there for her, Pacific Life is there to help protect me and my family so I can enjoy all life's moments.
Pacific Life, helping families for over 145 years achieve long-term financial security with lifelong retirement income. Talk to a financial advisor today to grow your future with confidence.
If you have moderate to severe rheumatoid arthritis like me, and you're talking to your rheumatologist about a biologic, this is Humira. This is Humira helping to relieve my pain and protect my joints from further damage. This is Humira giving me new perspective. Doctors have been prescribing Humira for 10 years. Humira works for many adults. It targets and helps to block a specific source of inflammation that contributes to RA symptoms.
Humira can lower your ability to fight infections, including tuberculosis. Serious, sometimes fatal infections and cancers, including lymphoma, have happened, as have blood, liver, and nervous system problems, serious allergic reactions, and new or worsening heart failure. Before treatment, get tested for TB. Tell your doctor if you've been to areas where certain fungal infections are common, and if you've had TB, hepatitis B, are prone to infections, or have flu-like symptoms or sores. Don't start Humira if you have an infection.
Talk to your doctor and visit Humira.com. This is Humira at work.
Whatever you're doing, plan well and enjoy life. Or as we say at United Healthcare Insurance Company, go long. How you plan is up to you. Take healthcare. Make sure you're covered for more than what just Medicare pays. Consider an AARP Medicare Supplement Insurance Plan insured by United Healthcare Insurance Company. The only Medicare supplement plans that carry the AARP name and the ones that millions of people trust year after year. Always have a plan. Plan well, enjoy life, go long.
Americans, we're living longer than ever. As we age, certain nutrients become especially important. From the makers of One-A-Day 50 Plus, new One-A-Day Proactive 65 Plus, with high-potency vitamin B12 and more vitamin D.
Now, you could be the hero in your family with the new Double the Cash prize from Publishers Clearinghouse. Go to PCH.com and enter now. December 30th, you could win $10,000 a week for life.
You're searching a bunch of websites looking for the best hotel deal. Stop doing that to yourself. Let Trivago do it for you. Trivago compares prices from hundreds of websites and apps at the same time. It's that simple. Hotel? Trivago.
This is Brad. His day of coaching begins with knee pain when...
Hey, Brad, want to trade the all-day relief of 2 Aleve for 6 Tylenol?
What's the catch?
There's no catch.
You want me to give up my 2 Aleve for 6 Tylenol? No. For my knee pain, nothing beats my Aleve.
The world's most... Metro Schools insiders say there's reason to doubt dramatically improved test scores. It's an exclusive investigation from our Phil Williams, and it's next. Fred Thompson died yesterday of cancer. The lawyer turned actor, politician, and TV pitchman was 73, and Nancy Cordes remembers.
Implicated Attorney Perkins.
The year was 1973. Thompson was 30 and serving as chief counsel to Republicans on the Senate Watergate Committee. He was the first to reveal, in a televised hearing, the existence of secret White House tapes.
Are you aware of any devices that were installed in the executive office building office of the president?
Yes, sir.
Thompson, a loyal Republican, later said he had assumed the tapes would prove that President Nixon did nothing wrong. Instead, the tapes documented crimes and cover-ups and led to Nixon's resignation.
I shall resign the presidency effective at noon tomorrow.
Thompson's transition to acting was accidental. He was asked to play himself in a 1985 movie about a corruption case he won in Tennessee. It turned out he was a natural.
Things liable to get a little dicey around here.
But Thompson missed public service and ran for the Senate in 1994, representing Tennessee for 9 years. In 2007, he set his sights even higher.
I'm running for president of the United States.
All right. He was seen initially as the man to beat, but voters noticed he seemed ambivalent. Even Thompson joked about it with us on the trail.
Are you sure you have the fire in the belly to do this?
I have the fire in the belly.
All right.
He dropped out early and may have been miscast for that role.
When under attack, circle the wagons.
But will be remembered for so many others. Nancy Cordes, CBS News, Washington.
That's the CBS Evening News for tonight. For all of us at CBS News all around the world, good night.
Tonight, a News Channel 5 investigates exclusive.
We were pretty much under the gun to get our scores up.
Metro Schools insiders say there's reason to doubt dramatically improved test scores.
I would never want this done to my own child. Never.
A Fort Campbell soldier and his family have been in and out of the hospital, and the reason was discovered inside their home's furnace. Before the silver screen, before politics, there was Lawrenceburg. How Fred Thompson is being remembered in the town where he grew up. But first, a counterfeiting ring operating like something out of a Hollywood movie.
news and information leader. This is News Channel 5 at 6.
It is big money from the silver screen. Tonight, the cash used by A